Try to get us online. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I will call this Committee of Adjustment meeting to order. I have approval of the agenda, please. Amy, Larry, all in favor? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest to the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Presentation of application, consent application B11-25. Have we?
Nothing.
Nothing. Is there any concerns of council on this consent? Nothing?
Randy brought it to my attention that it shouldn't be 11 acres and 33 acres. That's what the county had, but it should be 11 acres and 23 acres.
The total property is 33 acres.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that,
it's good. Need a motion for that?
yeah, just a resolution or a recommendation that I'll take to regular council.
Randy? Larry? All in favor?
Yeah, with recommendation, sir, with as the county's asking to rezone to rural residential exception, severance for or frontage for both the severed and retained, and a safe entrance. I need some clarification on the well or bylaws, but otherwise, Amanda can look after that.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Motion to adjourn the Committee of Adjustment. Randy and Larry, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Now. Okay, we'll call our regular council meeting to order for May 19th. Approval of the agenda, please. Amy, Larry, all in favor? Any additions to the agenda?
I have to law for animals at large, and Shannon is going to give us an update on Sus Global. Some things have changed there with our garbage, so.
Everybody okay with? Okay. Declaration of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Adoption of council meeting minutes of May 5th. Larry, Carrie, all in favor? Carried. Statutory public meetings, seeing none. Planning matters, consent application B1121, B1121. Everybody had a chance to look at that and review it. Any questions or concerns on that one? That was pretty straightforward. Have a motion to move that one along. Amy, Randy, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we have one done. Didn't take long to get there, did we? You didn't want us to fall asleep in here, did you? It was warm when we come in, but that thing works well.
things you learn when you're out in the parking lot wandering around with your Fitbit on. Whoever has the Sonata, happy birthday. They have a birthday in May. Whoever has the Edge, your license plate expired last July. Deputy Mayor makes way too much money. That's nice Nautilus, Larry, by the way. This beautiful car. When did we put a U.S. post office box in the circle out there? And God, please get a new flagpole. That thing looks awful.
Okay, Mike. You had something you wanted to bring to council? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and esteemed councillors and staff. As you are well aware, I did send you the one email and you guys had discussed it. Great postal service, this is the first I've seen as a response to it, only because it seemed to get lost in the mail. It never did arrive. The stuff that I had put forward to you at that point. My concern is it was a very small grass fire to start with. Out of due diligence, I had Wendy call 911 and say, could you have a truck attend so that just in case it got out of control. The fire itself was no more than half the size of this room. There was no wind that day. It wasn't going anywhere. Having been a firefighter for 10 years in Center Hastings and the requirements and doing due diligence, I had done everything except dig up the backyard. You know that from time to time fires can travel under. You're going to be fine no matter what. And I'm afraid that we're sending a message out to people saying, don't call the fire department. If you think you can control it, fine. And I'd hate to see the added loss of property if that's the message we're going to send. I also would be happy to pay the fine if I knew that all fires like this have been fined as well and investigated the same way. There has to be some equality to go across the board. You can't just randomly find one and not another. And if I'm able to partake or impart anything, is I make sure that the fire department is doing its due diligence as well in terms of investigating the fire to its fullest. I'm sure if I compared my fines to other fines, if I went through and accessed information, all those fines, I can almost guarantee you, because I know when I was on council, we didn't fine every fire that came across the desk. So I'm asking in this case that you reconsider, that you look at either reducing or alleviating the fine that was levied to me due to that grass fire.
Does anybody have any questions for Mike? Comments? Nothing?
Sir, that's the thing. As everyone knows, I went out and viewed the area and took pictures of the initial fire pile, took pictures of what was the remnants of the fire after the fire department showed up. I saw no evidence that this fire actually reignited from the initial fire. There was no burning wood that was on top. There was mud and dirt and everything on top of the pile. So the fire didn't, on the secondary, it didn't originate from the initial fire pile. The fire went underground, which none of us are in control of where it goes. It can just tap onto an old dry root and it'll pop up 100 feet from where the fire is. We don't have that control of that. So I do feel that Mr. Snyderhan did his due diligence in putting the fire out. As I said, I didn't see anything that pertained to the fire coming from the initial burn. It came up somewhere else, and how many hours after that fire restart? That's beyond anybody's control to know that. How long do I stay due diligence sitting over a fire to make sure that the fire doesn't reoccur when it's underground? We can't determine that, and I do feel that Mr. Snyderhan has done his due diligence, and I don't think we can reduce it totally because Center Hastings does charge us for their trucks come out, but I think we can do on our part is reduce our share, and he would pay the Center Hastings portion. That's my comments.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Randy. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we will we will consider and we will discuss further. Appreciate you coming out. Yep.
I just wanted to add, when we originated the automatic aid, I thought there was no charges levied during an automatic aid or mutual aid call. So I was confused by the comment that there is charges from Center Hastings.
Yeah, well, we were charged. I can't just,
But why?
I mean, we were charged for 2 trucks. Okay. But I do appreciate your question. That's something we are going to check in on, because I don't recall, you mentioned, I do not recall that. So that's part of our agreement. I don't know how that worked. We'll check that one out.
Yeah, we were charged $250.
For 2 trucks. So, yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that if you're being charged, you're going to try to recover some of your losses.
Yeah.
Having said that, when I was on council initially, I was the one that initiated the automatic aid agreement between the 2 municipalities, and I know there was no fines levied in it. Maybe I'll have to ask Senator Hastings for the money for my field, because they did get 1 truck stuck and had to unload 1,500 gallons of water to get it out.
Well, we will follow up on that one, Mike.
I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you too. Okay. You want to leave that as is now until Amanda and the girl check, Amanda should check on the charges from Center Hastings, and we'll revisit it at that time.
Sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
shouldn't the fire chief be the one that fully understands all that?
She'll do whatever she needs to.
Well-
Whether it's through Jason or through whoever. Okay, staff reports. Clerk. Amanda.
Okay, so the first thing on my agenda is a community safety and well-being plan. So we've been working with this with other municipalities for quite a while. A lot of it we have a draft, so we need a resolution from each council to pass the draft. If anyone looks through it and thinks that something should be added to it or changed, or we could do it a little better, we're going to start another copy shortly after this one gets approved. If you can hear me. So right now we're just looking, this is due July 1st, I believe. If everyone had a chance to look it over.
Amy?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the Central Hastings Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan as presented.
Carried. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
And then we do have a couple of complaint request forms here that I wasn't entirely sure what council, how we wanted to move forward with them. There's a lot of noise coming from the quarry, backup beepers and loaders and equipment. They can hear it constantly while inside and outside their home. I'm not sure how we would address that. If there's any suggestions.
All right.
I understand and respect these concerns that have come to us. I think that the appropriate thing maybe might be to pass this on to the county. They are looking at rezoning and all that kind of good stuff. There should be information, I believe, that goes to them as part of the rezoning process. And it would be looked at there,
Yes, I
by
can do
them,
that.
as they're the ones that basically drive the rezoning anyway.
Yes.
But only from the expansion standpoint.
So had to do noise studies and road
Oh, yeah.
studies. So they're having their third party contractor look those all over right now to make sure it's not biased just coming from the one company. So I can let the county know for sure that there are other concerns.
Yeah, like, they're already looking into it, so why would we not just pass the concern on to them?
Deal with this right now though, other than just tell them that we've passed it on to the county.
We do not have a noise bylaw, do we?
No.
And it is from 7 till 6.
Unfortunately, the only way to address anything is would be dust through the MOECC, but in relation to a pit operating under its normal operating procedures, and this is what they're doing, there's nothing to cover it.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. Noise, even the times, there's several times for a business to operate, but unfortunately, they're operating within their normal pit procedures at present.
Okay. So the next one was that the trucks are driving too fast on O'Hara Road. Two tandem dump trucks going south extremely fast.
Speed spy, Randy?
Yes, it could be requested to be there. They're saying O'Hara Road between Hematite and Scott's Settlement Road. I don't know, unless it's from the quarry and back. Anyways, I think a good recommendation would be to send a letter to all equipment operators and, just reiterate the speed limit in this township and most of the places they're driving through is residential zones. So be aware of the speeds that are out there.
Randy, if I may, break down all equipment operators.
Well, I mean,
How do the girls send a
like-
letter to all equipment operators?
and so there's 5 other local dump truck operators, just to our local operator. I mean, we can't stop the outside people. We're not going to send it to all of them, but to our 4, 5, 6 local operators that have equipment like that, and just that we've had notice of this taking place and it's going to be dealt with.
Larry?
Just to take away from maybe the workload on the office, maybe of looking at it, would be to have our CPAC representative take this to CPAC and mention it to the sergeant and have him talk to the quarry where the trucks were running from. That way, the right people are sending the message and the girls aren't wasting their time basically sending a letter out. And I don't like the fact that we send it to some of our truck drivers, because we have really good people that I do believe, and if there were a couple of people that weren't, I don't want to put everybody in the same bailiwick. So if we do it through CPAC, the sergeant, I know this happened when I was there 20 years ago. That's how, and the sergeant is more than willing to have one of his people go to the quarry and say, look guys, I had a complaint, smarten up. It'll have a pretty good effect on what goes on.
Yeah, I'll take that to the staff sergeant at the.
Thank you. Carry on, please. I have a motion.
Sorry,
Motion to accept the manager's report. Carrie.
Oh, the third complaint. I'm sorry. Yes, there was another complaint that the mail truck hit a pothole and there were damages done to, it broke the control arm and something on the tire in a very large pothole on Mill Road. And I guess they're wanting to know if we will do anything about damages. Yeah, like the actual Canada Post truck. Where, yeah.
Like, have we gotten official letter from actual Canada Post and a bill of these damages?
No, they just called that day that it happened and put in a complaint.
Mike been away, and has Mike been made aware of the hole?
I believe that he has. This would have gone to him, but we
Okay.
haven't.
Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you.
So we're not gonna do anything.
Well, I think the thing we need to do is make sure the hole's full. Fill the hole full of cold patch or do something.
Okay.
One thing we can do is make sure the hole's fixed.
Okay.
And to Deputy Mayor Owens' point, before claims of damages before that we never responded to, so. That's right.
Okay, I'll let Mike know. Okay, so now can I have a mover and a seconder from my report, please? Okay.
Carrie, Randy, all in favor? Carried. Reports of advisory committees of council. Reports of statutory committees, boards and external agencies. Quinny Conservation Board meeting, February 18th. ESB minutes of February 25th. ESB minutes of April 20th. Anybody got any questions or comments on those minutes? Larry.
I'd like to thank you for attending on my behalf on April 29th. I was not able to attend. And I gather it was a very important meeting, and
No problem. Everybody okay with those minutes? Questions, concerns? If not, approve all those minutes. Amy? Carrie? All in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Any questions or concerns or suggestions of support on that correspondence?
I do, sir. Amendment. You, as much as I read that, it's more confusing than. Is it something that we need to be supporting?
If somebody has a request for freedom of information, it's their right to ask for it, and it's our job to get it for them.
What are you asking? You just you want to support, or you?
I was just asking if we should be supporting it, but just asking for her advice on it. And other than that, recommend that we receive it, all the correspondence.
The recommendation receive and kept by Amy. All in favor? Carried. I'm getting tripping over my tongue. Unfinished business. Penny?
Yep. Shannon's going to give you an update on Sus Global.
Right. Right.
Okay, so I spoke with our current curbside pickup company, sort of. They no longer want to do curbside pickup. It's not really their main point of their business. Don't fret. Our curbside pickup has not changed, and no one will notice any difference. The residents will not notice the difference. They had made arrangements before they made that decision to contract out another company. So there was no delay or missed days or anything. When I was first told, I panicked a little bit, but so that was taken care of. However, the first company that they looked at is not working out. So the financial impact to our current company does not meet what they're looking for. So they have found another company. They will start June 1st. So they feel that this is going to be a good fit for us and for them. Eventually, there will be a transition from them contracting out to the new company taking over. So at that point, I spoke with them, and so at that point, then we need to look at contracts. So because we didn't have a set in stone contract, yeah. So anyways, I told them that we're going to look at a new contract. Now, the new company is asking from the current price that we pay, looking at a 6% increase, which is actually fairly good. So per month, that's about $250. Change during negotiations, but at this point, that's where we are. So, as I know more. Waste management. That's, yeah, yeah. I think so, yeah. So the process will still be the same. As far as I know right now, they'll still take it to Center Hastings, to the dump there. So the process, nothing will really change. It's just going to be the person doing it is going to change.
So the lady that went to EC360, she not what it. So how do they know it?
The current company will let them know. I think he said he's going to go with them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's for an additional 6%.
They think that's where they're going to be at. Right now, there's no change. But once we switch over from them contracting out to them actually taking over the entire contract, then there'll probably be an additional change, which...
And that's going to happen through, they want negotiation.
Well, we'll have to, because we'll have to come up with a contract. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Shannon.
Okay.
You want to do that animal bylaw now as well? Okay.
So I sent everyone a copy of a bylaw that I put together for animals running at large. There's a lot of information in there. If everyone had a chance to read it, I don't know if everyone has suggestions or if they think that it's okay. Again, there was a lot of information in there.
Has everybody read that bylaw over? If not once, twice, 3 times? You all like it? Gary?
So this is where I normally put Carrie on the spot. So when you read it, Carrie, is that a bylaw that you deal with at all? Mm-hmm.
We had somebody ask about a skunk this morning. Oh, okay.
The native
Okay.
animal?
Okay. Yeah, he said you should call pest control or something.
So the only question I would have is it enforceable, easily enforceable? Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. The one thing that I did fret over, I guess, was this and the fire bylaw. It took me a while, finally found in the Municipal Act that there's a section that allows you to take fines that you have given against somebody. If they don't pay them, you can put them on their tax roll. Yeah. I was happy to find that. 446.3.
Yes, we are. So you want to adopt this bylaw?
Yeah, the first, second, and third reading of it.
Carried. Amy, all in favor? Carried. We now have large animal other than dog and cat bylaw.
There will be some happy people to know that. Mhm. And maybe some not happy people, but
Okay. Okay. That was under unfinished business, so actual bylaws, we have none. Now we will going to take a slight pause for the cause here, and we'll get into closed session.
so can I add something